guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and I am back with another reaction to The Gifted. I missed the show last week. I don't know about you guys, but I know I missed it. I was like, aw. So I'm really super happy that the show is back, and we're on episode 9, which is called, where'd that word even come from? This episode is called Outfox. So, where we left off 2 weeks ago now, we had some pretty huge bombs as far as exposition dropped about the Strucker family, primarily that Grandpapa Strucker was actually a Von Strucker and that he was a mutant. He was the child of Otto Von Strucker, and it's kind of been assumed that the mother was his twin sister. Thanks for that Game of Thrones throwback. But anyway, that he was this child and that he was a mutant. He had some crazy powerful powers, and he actually said to Reed that his powers are stronger than that of the average mutant, and that basically he saw that his parents were, in his words, terrorists, and he felt like they needed to be stopped, or at least that the line of their super mutant genes needed to be stopped. So he worked at Trask Industries in order to create a way to extract the X gene from his gene line, basically, so that it would stop there and no more of these super powerful mutants who could potentially become super evil could be born. But obviously that didn't go as planned, because we discovered that he did come up with some sort of serum and he gave it to Reed, but it only managed to suppress Reed's powers, but it didn't actually kill the gene, because now both of Reed's children are mutants and that their powers are the exact same ones that their great-grandparents had. So very disappointing for poor Otto to find out that all that work and sadly all the hell he put Reed through as a child turned out to be fruitless in its long-term goal. So that's kind of the highlights of what happened in the last episode. So going into this one, Reed's got a ton of information that's pretty super important to the underground, and now I'm just kind of wondering if this episode he's going to feel like he needs to disseminate that, or whether or not he's going to feel like keeping it a secret is the best thing to do for his family. So I'm really interested to see where this episode is going to take us. Let's get into it and we'll review later. Okay? Boom.
Ready? Yeah.
So it happened once before. How did they not remember this?
You guys all right over there?
Yeah. I'm messing around.
So wait. Andy already had powers a year ago.
I almost think it's worse when you're not close, because you realize how much time you missed.
I was about to say, it hits you even harder that you didn't get that time.
Yeah.
I thought mutations were random.
Nope.
Mostly they are.
Rarely.
But they can be passed down, too.
That's why they're called genetics.
And why did it skip you?
You didn't tell her? Reed.
We need to go after Trask Lab now. We have to rescue those
Have
people.
to? You're pretty new here to be telling people what they
Right?
have to do.
Calm
You
down.
don't get it. So why are we standing here?
Did you
Calm
get anything on their security?
down.
No, her mind was too cloudy, but what does it matter? We are the last hope those prisoners have.
Okay, you just need to settle down, toy soldier, okay? You just got here. You don't even haven't even read the pamphlets. You don't know the rules.
We sit on our...
Johnny?
Ugh.
You all right?
Yeah, right?
How can I be all right?
Go away.
You know where the library is here? Who are you and what have you done with
In lieu of there being no internet, you get real
This section's
resourceful.
in the 1950s.
It also says they were monsters.
Well, I'm just...
I don't care. Go to bed.
I want to be a monster too. Don't trust Andy at all. He got his great-grandpapa written all over him.
Hello?
Okay, is Esme doing this? I feel like she's messing with people's heads. Whoa!
Hey, it's just
Why do you have a metal nightstand?
Hey, the baby's
It's about library.
I knew
We have
it.
to help those people.
I knew it.
Well, I promise.
Esme, you little devil. God, I hope they figure it out.
gonna have to hit Campbell's lab.
The place is top secret. How will they even find
What are
it?
you talking about? They're mutants. They can shoot lasers out of their hands. I'm pretty sure they can find a building.
Thank you. Glad Jace is with the program.
And you think Andy and Lauren can do the same thing?
I don't know.
Well, we have to tell them.
Do we?
Yes.
Isn't that
So it doesn't happen by accident, like it already
didn't
did.
tell you.
You're not so superior when you crack them in the head with a nightstick. One good shot to the temple, and they drop.
Well, damn.
What? Quit crying. Nobody saw. Just do your thing.
What kind of car doesn't notice when a girl just cold cocks a guy? Oh my god. She's.
Give him anything to remember us by.
They don't need to be conscious for her to use her powers.
They cracked his head on a urinal.
It's crazy.
That's why we wanted to test it in the vault, just to see if there's anything there. Okay.
Good luck, kids. Try not to bring the building down on all of us and kill us. Okay. What kind of weak handhold is that? Come on. Like you mean it. Where'd their parents go? What just happened? What the? Stop! Abort! Abort! Stop!
So what are we waiting for?
We don't have enough heavy hitters to attack both places at once.
You know, I never thought I'd see someone who was more annoying than Andy.
Take because
I see. So I'm just some kind of monster.
that's
Yep.
not what he meant.
At least you guys have one kid you can actually trust.
Mom,
Nothing but tea spilled here.
Am I interrupting?
Yes. Leave.
It's
If our kids are there, we are too.
Like, Sage will set you up, show you what to do.
All right, everybody get
This
ready. We move
cow.
out now.
She's probably working for Campbell.
You're making a mistake.
Have you ever been so angry about someone you love getting hurt that you would do anything to stop the pain?
This witch using their
The
stuff.
people I love in that building,
Ha ha ha.
I can't leave them.
Oh, girl.
They're a part of me.
I really didn't think I could hate anyone more than Campbell, but wow. Wow. I just hope that if the Strucker twin kids need to like blow something up, that Esme's like just right in range. That's all I ask. Just first blast. That's all I'm asking.
There's some workers in the hallway in front of you.
I love how people think looking away suddenly makes them invisible. If I don't see you, you don't see me.
Right, so these prisoners, how do you know they're gonna help us?
Believe me,
Exactly.
they'll help.
Because you'll make them. How are they not onto this chick yet? I don't get it.
we gotta go.
Kids,
Now. What the hell?
time to do your thing.
No, we're here.
Time to clap your hands, hold hands, sing some spirituals. Time for people to die. No, we can't leave Clarice behind. This is not cool. I'm not that sad about losing Dreamer, though. Just keep it at 100.
We can get out if we did what we did before. Like Fenris.
Look at Lauren, like in the taste of the dark side.
What are you doing?
We can't.
We have to!
No, we're in the basement of the building. And if we do it, everyone's gonna die.
Wait, did Andy just have sense? What bizarre world are we in? Oh, they could probably blow through the collars. Oh! Man, why you gotta end on that note? Things are just getting juicy and stuff. Well, guys, that was a very nice return from our little mini hiatus of The Gifted. That was episode 9. It was called Outfox. And yeah, thank you, Esme. You screwed the team. Good job. Hope you're proud. Wow, a lot to talk about in this episode as well. Not so much exposition wise. We kind of had all of that in the last episode, so I'm kind of glad that we didn't, you know, do too much more. Like, we didn't need to. Really, we just need to kind of let all that info we got in the last episode just disseminate and let us kind of marinate on it and figure out exactly what it is, you know, what this means for the Strucker family in particular, and eventually the whole Mutant Underground, I think. But let's jump into some things that I noted in the episode. The flashback. We saw that Andy and Lauren held hands accidentally. And in that moment of, I guess, them both being a little excited, it triggered the initial powers. We saw that in the season premiere of this show that that was the first time Andy had ever exhibited powers. So the fact that a year ago, apparently they just hadn't, I guess, fully awakened at that point. I kind of like the idea that Lauren might have been the key. Like, maybe she somehow woke her brother's powers up. That's kind of interesting. But yeah, just the fact that it happened a year ago and that Andy's powers have been sitting there potentially that long. So maybe he's been a mutant for, you know, a couple of years. Also, there was a mention of the club with the Von Struckers. They said they had started a place called a group called the Hellfire Club, and I'll have to do some research on that. But they said it sounds like it just kind of fell apart after the twins disappeared. But I have a feeling they somehow still exist, or, you know, I've mentioned since the beginning of this show that I think there's going to be a big faction division within the Mutant Underground. Where we're going to have people who are going to be more like the, you know, the X-Men followers who kind of believe that humans and mutants should live together peacefully. And then the other faction that feels like they are, as the guard said, that they are, you know, the superior race, and that they're going to feel like, you know, we don't need to live by human rules. And so maybe, you know, whether it's the New Brotherhood or whatever they're going to call themselves, maybe this Hellfire Club is still going, still active. And I don't know, I would not be shocked if Andy finds his way there at some point. We saw Campbell. Apparently he got burnt real bad, and all I have to say to that is suffer, because you killed Otto Strucker and that just wasn't necessary. So that's all I'd say about that. Petty as hell. I thought it was an interesting conversation that Reed had with his wife about, you know, the what if game. You know, she was going through a what if if Lauren had told us she was a mutant, you know, what if your father had told you that you were a mutant and that he was a mutant? Like, how our lives have been so much different, would we be here? While I get what she's half saying about, I guess maybe they would have been in a position to hide before, you know, Andy nearly blew up a school. You know, who knows that Andy would have even existed, right? I mean, if Grandpa Strucker had been like his parents, he probably would have raised Reed to be the same way, and Reed probably never would have married his very normal human wife. So, I don't know, that whole little thought trail just kind of got my little imagination going about that whole conversation. Dreamer. I thought it was just really interesting. Dreamer. I didn't know. Like, I think it's kind of interesting. Like, I like that in this show that we don't see the full suite of each mutant's power, like, right off the bat. So from episode 1 to now, almost all of the people there, we've seen different aspects of their powers, and it wasn't something that they just, like, dumped on us on day 1. You know, like, you know, this is Johnny and he can do all these things, and this is Dreamer and she can do all this. Like, we've been getting little bits and pieces and seeing how their powers kind of build on each other. And I think that makes it so much more interesting, and it feels natural. So, and they've definitely done that with Dreamer. We saw that she can, you know, she already said, I can take memories, but I can also push memories in. But now I did not realize that she could also do it to someone who was unconscious. I thought they had to be like awake, but as long as they can inhale, it looks like she can get in there and do whatever the heck she wants. So that's terrifying. Because that means, again, I mean, girl could literally mess with your head anytime. Like, you're not even safe sleeping around Dreamer. Maybe that's where she got her name. Maybe she's been hijacking people's dreams for, oh, girl. And now I dislike her even more. because she's probably been messing with people's dreams. Maybe Johnny doesn't even like her. She probably put that stuff in his head when he's been sleeping. Oh, listen, I know that, mutants getting captured for this whole thing at Trask is kind of sad and all, but I'm not sad to see Dreamer go. I'm just keeping it 100. She can stay there because she is dangerous. It could be an interesting story twist, though, however, if we saw Dreamer actually end up being one of the Hound program people. Let's talk a little bit about Ms. Esme. Yeah. Last episode I saw her on, I was really on the fence. I didn't know what to think of her. We didn't see a lot of her. But she seemed like, okay, she gave them information that kept that Hound agent from blowing their cover at the Underground. So, and initially she came off as someone maybe that could be helpful to the group if she would work with them. And thank you to the people in the comments who gave me the information on her character and her family. And clearly they're not necessarily great people. But and there's one thing we've seen with the show is that they're not following canon 100%. They're definitely taking some samplings from the Marvel canon, but not necessarily using it as a script for these characters. So, Esme could be good, she could be bad, she could be somewhere in the middle. But man, did she ever display some villain-ass tendencies this episode with using her power to manipulate everybody in there to get them where she wanted them. So that made me kind of curious throughout the entire episode if she was really interested in saving her family, or if she really was potentially working with Campbell to bring everybody in. Like maybe she made a deal with Campbell, like, I'll give you all these mutants in exchange for you giving me my family back. Something like that, right? So I don't know exactly 100% what she's up to, but it was slimy as all hell. Like I was even willing to get over her going in and pushing the dreams and pushing the things that she was doing with all the people, the thoughts and such. But the manipulation, that's one of my, girl, there's not a lot of things out there that make me mad. But when someone gets in your head and like uses your pain and uses your experiences and twists them in a way that makes their, to their advantage, to like take advantage of you, like that stuff, that I hate that. That is like, I hate people who do that, and I hate when people do it. And it just, she's dangerous. She's dangerous on a whole different level. And I need her to be stopped. Ooh, Esme, you are on my poop list, man. It's like you and then Dr. Campbell right now. The other thing that kind of tweaked my interest was Lauren's response to Fenris. We've seen between Lauren and Andy, there's definitely been the whole, good versus evil, yay powers, nay powers kind of thing going on between them. And that's what kind of made me think in the beginning that, Lauren would never really go along with the whole Fenris thing, because she's very much about not using her powers for destructive purposes, and in fact, using her powers as minimally as she can and being normal, as it were. But when she got in that whole Fenris mode, that combined mode, you saw it in her face and her eyes. She looked like she was ready to do some damage. Right? And the fact that the first thing that came to both their minds when this power combined was to destroy, it also kind of raises some questions about whether or not the Von Strucker twins really were evil, or if it was just for whatever reason, the combination of their powers just somehow skewed them. The impulse that it gave them was to destroy things. Do you know what I mean? So kind of like how Andy said it felt good to pull things apart because it just kind of felt like a pressure within him if he didn't do it. Maybe this combined power, that's the impulse it pulls them to do, is to destroy. Not that they necessarily wanted to, but that's what the impulse is with this power. So, I don't know, just kind of made me think that maybe the Von Struckers didn't turn out evil, but that's just what happened because that was the impulse that the power gave them. But conversely, they both, Andy and Lauren, commented that it felt good. Like whatever this thing they were in when it happened, it made them feel good. So almost like a high or a trance. So that combination could become very addictive, and I could see how that combined with this impulse could just turn the Von Struckers potentially into what they were. And then after a while they just said, well, this is the way we're going to be, we're going to embrace it. So I just thought it was very interesting that combination of powers is what made Lauren, for the first time, kind of want to throw caution to the wind and just, for lack of a better term, just blow shit up. Right? That's very unlike the Lauren we've seen since since episode 1. I guess that just kind of brings us into, the kids being captured. Very weird that of all people, Andy was the one who was like, you know, no sis, we can't bring this building down. There's innocent people in here and we are gonna bury everything if we use our powers right now. They held off on using their powers and it seems like they're going to be captured at this point. But I keep thinking that, you know, they put the collars on them, but we already saw with Grandpa Strucker that they're not the average mutant, and those collars would have been made for the average mutant. So I have a feeling that I think that, you know, especially if they let their powers combine, a la Captain Planet style, I feel like the Strucker kids are going to be able to break those collars and potentially bust everybody out. Because I just don't feel like we're going to have more captures at this point. Yeah, that was pretty much the episode, guys. Again, as usual, this show is amazing. It's so good. It's been aces. I enjoyed every single episode, and every episode brings the plot along. That's what I love about this show. There's been no stalling episodes, none that I would say are throwaway, none of them that don't do something that either tells us the story, builds out the world, moves the plot forward, builds out a character. Like, everything makes sense and is resolved fairly quickly within an episode, and I love it. What did you guys think of this episode? How do you feel about the whole way that Esme kind of manipulated everyone? Do you think this is going to be the beginning of her kind of dismantling the underground because she didn't get what she wanted? Also, do you think that she's potentially working with Campbell on some sort of covert deal to get her family back? Please leave your comments below. You know I love reading them and being part of the conversation with you guys. And if you like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you click that like button. And if you want to see more from this geeky face, please go ahead and click subscribe. Until next time, see ya!